I'm Mike.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Stuff and Waffle. Two friends talking about stuff, and often as not, waffling with frequent reference to Bond cars.
As those who are on our Discord server will know, I had a difficult moment earlier in the week.
Yeah. Because what's funny is when you posted that, I think probably about a minute before, I'd seen the ad on Twitter.
Oh, really? I didn't see it there. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I saw it. And I was like, oh, I better post that. No, I don't need to.
Don't need to. He's on it. Yeah, one of my. It's not excessive to describe it as one of my dream cars.
And it's one that we've mentioned.
It's one that we've mentioned, and it's it's a special thing. It came up for sale. They very, very rarely do. This one was a good one, as far as we could make out.
It certainly appeared so.
Yes, an XF RS Sport Brake.
Oof.
Oh,
dirty.
Now, for those less familiar, if there's anybody left listening to this podcast who is not familiar at this point with the Jaguar range, one could say, well, you've already got an XF Sport Brake. But this one's a bit different.
It's the big one.
There's one. It is largely the same as the car I already have, but with one crucial difference. Yes, the 5-litre supercharged V8 under the bonnet. This particular car was in the correct colour of French blue. It had done 8,000 miles from new, which is just. So I don't know who would buy an £86,000 estate car and then not use it, but anyway, there it was, and it was up for $39,950, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds right.
The advert's gone now because the car sold within a matter of hours. Although, as the screenshot I put on our Discord server shows, I did click the button. I was having a look. I was.
You were getting ready to inquire.
Yeah, I was. Not that I've got 40 grand to spaff on a car, but as we've discussed with you,
they don't know that.
They don't know that, and there are options.
There's always options.
Yes.
There's always the age-old better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
All of those sorts of things, and financing is available, as we know. It was. I'm not going to claim that's a cheap car. Clearly, that's a huge amount of money. No. But it was cheaper than I have seen them in the past.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
and particularly this one being exceptionally low mileage. Immaculate MOT history, all of that kind of stuff, full dealer service history, all that kind of stuff. It was a really good one, but yes, even in the couple of hours it took me to come to terms with the fact that the advert was there and click a button, it was gone. So it didn't cause me angst for very long, but they so rarely come up, and that, I think, is one of the few vehicles you could say genuinely would be an investment.
Yeah, you'd be all right with that.
It has the rarity. It said in the advert 1 of 37, but that seems a bit low. I don't know what they based that on.
That could be spec of that.
That could be spec, although there wasn't a lot of spec on the XFRS because it's kind of got everything from factory. There isn't a lot. There wasn't a lot to choose from. Color, maybe the wheels, but I think you only had a couple of choices. and I think you had a couple of choices for the interior color, but everybody went for black. So don't. I don't know how many options there were. I recall Ian Callum saying that he thought they made about 110 XFRS sport brakes. Still exceptionally rare car, unless I haven't done a how many left, which I know is not the most accurate.
It's not balls on accurate, is it?
Data, but unless of the 110 only 37 are left, I don't know. That seemed a little bit low, so I don't know what they based that on, but yeah, there it was. Incredible. You so rarely see them. And yeah, I was on the edge there. I genuinely was on the edge. I had pushed the button just to see what the options were.
yeah, you got to have a little go, haven't you?
But it was, I've always got your story in the back of my mind with that XJ40 that you missed.
Yeah, I clocked that right up.
Although that was a very different price point, I grant you.
Yeah.
But there it was, and there it was gone before we even knew it. But yeah, one has appeared and disappeared again alarmingly quickly. But it's what a thing! What a thing!
That is fair play. That is
They don't. I mean, they normally go to auction. The last couple that have sold have gone to auction. This one wasn't an auction; it was classified ad. Whether the dealer didn't fully appreciate what they had, I thought 39,950 was a little bit cheap for it. I think you could, particularly with the mileage, I think you could have asked more than that. But they certainly got a quick sale because the ad has disappeared now, so it obviously has sold.
That's mad.
It did not take long. I mean, that was a matter of hours.
Yeah.
And it was gone. So yeah, I was I was both disappointed and relieved at the same time.
Yeah, well, it's difficult, isn't it? Because yes, you would have wanted it, but B, you go, oh, there would have been a conversation because you would have you wouldn't have discussed first, would you? Let's be honest.
No, obviously, no, absolutely.
Because you would have been shot down. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that would not have been. Yeah, that would not have been well received. No.
But yeah, definitely worth noting because I think we both spotted it, and yeah, it's like that's obviously it's one that you're going to want, isn't it?
It's the one, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. It's interesting actually comparing it to the price of the XFRS saloons, of which there are always a few available.
Yeah, it's kicking about. Yeah,
much less rare. The price you can pay that for a saloon now, low mileage. So whether the fact that it's the estate isn't commanding the premium anymore, maybe that particular dealer just got it wrong. I don't know, but you can pay from somewhere around 26, 27 up to 40 odd for an XFRS saloon now. So
that estate was was right in the middle, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was a good price for it. I've seen them go for more than that. But as I say, this was a classified ad, and they normally go to auction because of the rarity.
But sometimes that level of rarity can hurt it at an auction as well, though, can't it?
Yeah, it can. Although, it's still an XF Sport Brake, which was not it's not a rare car. It's not a massively common car either. It's not super rare like the XFRS is, but you also don't see hundreds of them around. So the Sport Brake is a rarer car anyway. I don't know. Maybe people don't want the V8. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't know. Maybe people don't know what it is. A lot of people probably don't know it even ever existed. Because they never did an XFR Sport Brake. It was only the RS.
Yes, yeah.
Although Jaguar some of their badging is a bit off in places. When they first launched the supercharged XJ in the X351 form, the Callum XJ,
yeah,
they called that the Super Sport, and they dropped the R altogether. And if you look at those now for sale, the Super Sport goes for a lot less, like half the price of an XJR of the same
era.
car.
Yeah.
Just because the badging is different, and people think somehow the Super Sport is less than the XJR, but it isn't. At least not that big a difference. Yes, on the Super Sport you didn't get the Larry body kit and the vents in the bonnet and the spoiler on the boot and that kind of stuff. It looked a bit more sedate. And the R, they kind of, beefed it up a bit. But that's cosmetic. Under the bonnet, it was the same thing. We can get a Super Sport now for 9-10 grand, whereas an XJR of that era, you're still up over 20.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Had they badged the R to begin, I don't know why they dropped the R branding on the XJ when it first came out. And again with the XF, I don't know why the Estate particularly was they put the XF RS branding on it, because it kind of was the XFR but in Estate form. Anyway, I don't know. I suspect people don't know what it is.
There's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah, or that it ever existed in the first place, that they ever did a really hot version of the Estate. But anyway, there it was, and before I could get myself into trouble, it was gone. So
it was, and there it went.
Yes, there we go.
Oh dear.
But it's interesting you spotted it as well.
Well, it was doing the rounds on car Twitter because, it would.
It would because of the rarity. Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, it falls into that category of going, yes, it's doing the rounds on car Twitter, but no one can afford it.
That's the thing, isn't it? Weird car Twitter doesn't buy stuff like that.
No. It acknowledges it, it appreciates it, but it can't afford it.
Can't afford it.
Yeah.
No,
that's fine. I tell you what, there's a nice little segue. Can't afford it. That's an interesting thing. So
we're familiar with that concept.
We are. And this came up. It's been around for a while, but it came up really prominently this week about the pricing of the Formula One Grand Prix at Silverstone.
Right. Okay.
So I am going to ask you what you think you would pay. So take your family unit, for instance. Say you were going to go to Silverstone for the weekend, the three of you. Three of you to watch the Formula One, and you, for example, I've narrowed it down, and I sort of said, right, well, you're going to have one of the grandstands that is on the start-finish straight. It's not a covered grandstand; it's just a bogo. And reasonable view, but it's on the start finish straight, so you get the drama of the start and the cheering at the finish, but otherwise it's basically okay. So for the three of you for the weekend to get into Silverstone, to have seats in this grandstand, so Friday, Saturday and Sunday, that covers what, I mean, I'll let you guess whether you want to guess per person or per or as overall. What do you think you're going to be paying there for that?
Well, it depends where they set the threshold for children, doesn't it, as to where the sound would go.
The threshold for children. It's interesting you asked that question. So we've. I didn't narrow it down to this grandstand to be awkward, but I picked this one because I was just going, yes, it's got pros, but yes, it's got cons as well.
Okay.
The threshold for children on this to get you a reduced amount of money is the age of 2.
Okay. Right, which you probably wouldn't take anyway.
No, you wouldn't.
No,
I don't know what you would do, why you would taking a 2-year-old to a Formula One event, but there we go.
Ridiculous. Okay, so that's pointless. Okay, so is it a price per day, or you want the price for the whole weekend?
The weekend is the price I've got. So you can give me the price per person or the whole thing, however you want to guess.
Okay, well, let's think. And this is the price I would be prepared to pay, or the price I think it was?
All right, I know you'd be prepared to pay between £5 and £10.
I could run up to £10 if everyone was really into it.
If absolutely necessary. No, but I mean, what you no, and what you just to have a sort of a sensible stab in the dark at what you think that should cost you.
All right. Well, it's not going to be cheap, is it? Because it's Silverstone and it's trackside. So, all right. Let's think per person. For how long is the weekend? 3 or 4 days?
3. So that gives you it gets you entry to Silverstone Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay. I'm gonna say. Yeah, it's not going to be cheap, is it? So no. I'm going to say 150 per person.
150 per person. Very good guess. Very good.
Is that a good guess? I don't know.
No,
it's going to be. It's going to be more than that, isn't it?
It is. I'm afraid I'm going to have to break it to you. For a weekend ticket, I can't get you in for £150 per person.
No, I didn't think you would be able to. No.
For a 1-day ticket on a Friday, I can only just get you in.
What, me?
No, so for Friday, so you only get to see practice, is £139 per person, and that gets you no grandstand. That is general admission.
Okay, right, yeah, okay. So I'm nowhere near then.
So for the ones that for the seating that I proposed to you there, per person is £839. So just to clarify that, for your small family unit of 3, that is a smidge over £2,500.
My word. No. That's
and Silverstone is saying, cool, we're not sold out this year. Do you know what we blame? The dominance of Red Bull. Do you really?
Do you think that's... Is that what you think the problem is?
That's the reason. Do you don't think it might be the pricing, you absolute fucking maniacs?
I can't believe. Who's paying that? That's horrific.
That is horrendous.
That is horrendous. I can't, and that just gets you in. That's not. That's not food and.
That doesn't even. I don't think that even buys you parking.
Oh my god, that's horrific.
That's awful. I mean,
they need to review that. That is.
Now I don't know where the blame entirely lies, because, for instance, like that figure of 839 per person for the weekend, like just to clarify. So that's the pinnacle of 4 wheels. So the pinnacle of 2 wheels is MotoGP. So I bought, for Dad's birthday, I was the one arranging it all, so I bought it all. So to get in with weekend access, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with the choice of, I think, up to 15 grandstands, because we bought a slightly fancier ticket.
Yeah.
Still did not total that 839. by some considerable hundreds.
Yeah. That's... Yeah,
So,
I'm sure. That's just awful.
So I don't know the logistics of it. I don't know whether it's a case of Silverstone pay Formula One a set amount of money to say, right, we want your race here, and then Silverstone have to make it up in ticket sales, which means that if they need to turn a profit, they have to do these ridiculous prices. That immediately points you, well, why would Formula One charge that in the first place? But then you've got the argument of going, right, well, £839 per person for a grandstand seat for a weekend can, for instance, say you wanted to go to Catalonia, the Barcelona Grand Prix, for the same £839, people are finding deals where you can go, right, I've got my flights, my transfers, my weekend access, and a grandstand seat for less than £839 per person by flying to another country. So we're getting shafted somewhere along the line here for no apparent reason.
Yes, that's... Yeah, I don't see how they can possibly justify that. That's... Yeah, no wonder ticket sales are down.
No, Red Bull dominance, you see.
No, stupid price, you see.
It's bad, isn't it? Really bad.
Yeah, that's just yeah. I mean, for anybody, ordinary people like us, it's just out of the question, isn't it? It's just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, like if you compare it and go, well, actually give me a 3-day ticket. So I want to go for the weekend again, but I'm willing to sacrifice and say, look, I don't have a grandstand. I'm just going to sort of stand and watch at the few places you can.
Yeah.
That's £350 per person.
Yeah. You see, it's just...
That's not even...
Still too much. It's still too much. Yeah. No, I'm not doing that.
No.
I'm not. I mean, I also don't give a fig about Formula One, but even if I did, I wouldn't.
I mean, I don't rave about it, and I'm certainly not paying that. I don't care. But even if I was into
you're absolutely not paying that.
I'm not interested. I mean, like the MotoGP, I will pay that all day long because I love it, and I feel like I'm getting value for money.
Yes.
But that
850, did you say?
839 per
39.
person.
Yeah.
For a grandstand that actually I don't think I would be the one I'd pick. You're like, come on.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We're not having that.
No, we're not having that.
It sounds like quite a lot of people are not having that.
Because, well, we might as well, let's keep the segues going.
Please do.
We had Le Mans at the weekend. Lovely. Lovely.
Yeah.
Ferrari won again. They did back to back. Fair play. It was a close fought race. It was not a foregone conclusion by any stretch. It was really entertaining. Bit of weather in the night, I'll be honest. There was about 4 hours behind the safety car because it was a bit shit.
Okay.
But that's okay. It allowed for a little nap.
Yes, absolutely. And you needed that.
I did. So that was good. Really enjoyable, really good. Although, because the race started and I had all that sort of envy of going, oh God, it would have been great to be there. And then the weather was really shit. I'm like, God, it's nice being at home watching on the sofa, isn't it? Yeah.
That's working for you then, isn't it?
Yeah, that was working for us. But if we throw money into the mix again, to go to Le Mans, to camp for, what do we do, 5 nights? So we did a whole package deal, tunnel crossings, our entry to Le Mans, our camping. We even lumped fuel in on it, and per person we are still several £100 shy of a Formula One event.
Yeah.
Or native country.
Yeah.
Have to cross a border.
Yes.
and some would say you are significantly more entertained and way, way closer to the action.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah. No, it's not good. It's stupid. And if they want to try and re-engage people with Formula One, because I think a lot of people have kind of fallen out of love with it of late, they're going to have to do better than that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yep. Must try harder, I'm afraid.
Yes, need to sharpen the pencil a bit there, I think.
I would say so. Yeah. That can jog on. Right. Back to actual things that, I say matter, but this doesn't really impact on us. This is just noteworthy. I'm sure at some point we were jibber-jabbering about various electric brands we had. There was a bit of a discussion about, I think it was Lucid, because there were some ties to potentially JLR or something.
Yeah, it was rumoured, wasn't it, that Lucid might be making their powertrain for them.
We'd heard about that, and then I think at some point we were talking about Fisker.
Yes, yes.
That's not gone brilliantly this week.
That's not gone well, has it? This week? No.
No.
I've been reading and watching a bit about that, and gone a bit bust. You see,
filed for bankruptcy, I'm afraid, after rescue talks went in the toilet,
and are apparently now, even though the company hasn't actually closed yet, apparently their customer service and helplines and everything have just shut down. So,
oh dear,
all those lovely customers who invested in and bought vehicles are stuffed.
Yeah, because it was the Ocean, wasn't it? The one that sort of died of death earlier this year.
The Ocean SUV.
Well, production ceased. It didn't die of death. It
just stopped.
Yeah,
that's right. The Ocean SUV, they were about to launch on the market. Well, had launched on the market.
Yeah. It was out. No.
It was. Yes, production has stopped. And yes, it's not clear if everyone who has paid for one has got one. And those who have got one now can't get any support for it.
Blimey, that's good, isn't it? And
by the report I was reading not long before we started recording today, Big Boss Man has disappeared. So, yes.
Oh dear. Because it was reported. I mean, yes, so that's a bit dodgy to say the least.
No, it's not a bit dodgy.
It's all the way dodgy.
It is. All the dodginess there. Yes.
The rumours were that the rescue talks were with Nissan.
Yes, I have read that as well, that Nissan were sniffing about there and were looking to invest.
I would say I don't think they really need to. They're probably all right, aren't they?
I was looking at that and thought, really? Why would they be even slightly interested in that? What could they possibly have that Nissan don't already have? That makes no sense. I don't know why Nissan would be interested in that. What could possibly be there?
Well, I mean, they
interest.
If there's any truth in it, they came to that conclusion fairly swiftly by the look of it.
I think yes. I think they probably agree with that sentiment. Yes. There's nothing here for us.
No.
And there isn't. There's nothing there that they don't already have.
No. They are leaps and bounds ahead of that nonsense. God, blimey.
Yes, indeed. So, yeah. I don't think they were a serious contender to anybody. I know they touted themselves as this, phrase that gets kicked around a lot these days. It's the latest Tesla killer. Well, there's no such thing because.
But there is. There's Elon.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, he could finish if the one wrong tweet, and that's all done.
Yeah. Yes, granted. But leaving that aside, let's not get into that. Yes, apparently, gone bust. But I don't specifically know why. But I'm guessing lack of sales and lack of ability to scale up.
Well, lack of sales, and I read somewhere that it lost over $450 million in the fourth quarter of 2023.
That'll do it.
I mean, that's not small change, is it? Let's be honest.
No, it's not. No, and anyone who invested in it.
I bet they feel really good about it.
Oh, cracking tonight, yeah. They started strong, didn't they, with the old Karma? That we saw some, but I mean that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's not recent. Let's be honest.
No, it's not. They've been very slow. They've fallen by the wayside and then relaunched, I think, twice.
I think that sounds right. Yeah.
And they're not offering anything that isn't already out there. Now, lots of manufacturers can do that. A lot of the Chinese manufacturers are doing that. The difference with them is they can make them cheaper.
Yes,
and
they can.
Can ramp up volume very quickly.
And I just think, I tell you what, that you see in some certain Chinese brands, you got Tesla, you got all those a bit Tesla, Lucid, BYD, any of that. And you're going, they're aiming it slightly premium, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yes.
And it feels like, and Fisker were going right there as well. And it feels like we're saturated at that price point. Very
much so. And that's not what we need more of.
And I think we're done there. And I think we got some Korean action sneaking. They're doing nicely. But I tell you what, I think the one mega brand, for want of a better word, that's probably going to swoop in at this point, and get that lower price point. I think Stellantis and its various brands are going to nail it.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. But you cannot discount the Chinese manufacturers.
No, but it just, at the moment, the stuff they're producing, you can't knock it at all. But it's at the wrong end of the market. It feels like at the moment. Other than MG, I don't feel like we've got sensibly priced EVs from China.
Not yet. No.
Not mass market anyway.
No, not yet. No, not yet. But I think Fisker were probably following the Tesla model in that start with luxury, exclusive, really expensive, get the money into the company, and then develop your next models. The problem is Tesla have already done that. And a number of others have already done that.
Yeah, no one cares.
Yeah.
Talking about no one cares with luxury premium EVs, that DeLorean's going well, isn't it?
Oh, Jesus. We haven't mentioned this for a while.
Well, there's been nothing to mention.
Well, there's two. There's two DeLoreans, one of which has produced a prototype, the other of which hasn't.
Because we had the one at the Pebble Beach job.
We had the one at Pebble Beach, which is masterminded by a former Tesla guy.
Yep.
And then we've got the other DeLorean company, which has yet to produce a vehicle, which is being headed by Catherine DeLorean, John's daughter.
Yeah.
Now, you might think that's the one that would be really going for it. But as far as I can see, they've got some drawings and have produced some merch. and they have quite an active Instagram account. That seems to be about the extent of it.
Oh dear. I mean, we could all do that.
Well, yes, we could do that.
It's just, yeah, no, you're all right. It's just, yeah. No.
And that DeLorean that was shown at Pebble Beach was very disappointing.
So underwhelming.
And the car that Catherine DeLorean's group are looking at, I don't think is even an EV, which seems a bit pointless. If you're going to do it and you're going to stay true to what John's original vision, if he was doing it now, it would absolutely be an EV.
Yeah.
It just would. Everything he wanted to, what he called the ethical sports car, fuel efficient, safe, renewably built, it absolutely would be electric.
Yeah, it would. And I think in terms of something that we would consider to be a modern DeLorean, is that Hyundai concept.
Yes.
The Envision 74.
Yes. That even looked.
That looks right, because that was that was concept, and it sort of took it on another level because that's hydrogen fuel cell. That one.
Yes, that's gone in a different direction. Yeah, different technology. But if that technology had been available to John DeLorean in 1975 when he first started to work on the designs, it absolutely would have been renewably powered. Yeah. No question. Yeah. And the fact that these cars aren't.
It's nonsense.
Well, you've missed the point from straight away.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, that is the only feasible replacement to a DeLorean, and it's not a DeLorean.
And they even said in their marketing guff, building on the last 40 years of development. It went bust in 1982. What's happened since then?
It's bad.
40 years of development. There hasn't been any. 40 years of automotive development, generally on the planet. Yes, but
it's bad.
So it's all very disappointing, and I don't think it really needs to happen.
No, we can gloss over all of that.
Let it rest. And I don't know why Catherine DeLorean is kind of doing this now, because she's been very critical of her father in the past. So why she's now, trying to renew his legacy, or whatever phrase she's using, I don't know. It just seems a bit strange.
Yeah, it is a bit strange, let's be honest. So, in more car news. A potential U-turn.
Are we going to Sweden?
We are.
Yes.
We definitely are, and it's not to IKEA.
But get some IKEA in the back.
Oh yeah. So apparently there are details emerging that UK cars, UK variants of Volvo estates are about to go back on sale.
About to come back, yeah, having been withdrawn. Allegedly, yeah.
I mean, it's not fully confirmed, and all things point to the fact that they're going to be hybrid powertrains.
Yes, I saw that, plug-in hybrid. Yeah.
Well, actually, the V60 is rumored to be coming in mild hybrid and plug-in hybrid.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay.
With the V90 being plug-in only.
Do we think that this has anything to do with the decline in sales of Polestar? Because apparently there has been a bit of a slump.
I mean, if all the stats are to be believed, it's probably not singling out Polestar. I think EVs are down a bit anyway.
They are, although they're still the figures that we've looked at recently have shown this is still the only growth area of car sales.
But
But
what's
they are down.
interesting,
Yes.
like you say, could it be that? But I mean, Volvo is still selling their Toss wagons. So if people aren't buying the Polestars, they could be buying that hideous XC40 or whatever it is.
There are some SUVs about, and you do see quite a lot of them.
I mean, they're proper muntin things as well.
Yeah, they're terrible, but you do see them a lot. Is it overwhelming feedback from customers? I doubt it.
I doubt it very much.
Car manufacturers don't really listen to customers anymore. It's Or did they finally realise that there was a moronic policy, and they should bring back estate cars because that's what they stand for?
I'm just skimming now, and it looks like some of the news has been updated. Actually, it's a. Oh, right, okay. So they are going to be taking orders soon.
Right, so it does look like it is happening then.
Yeah.
Could it also be that there are now a growing number of estate cars coming back to the market? It's not just Volvo, is it? We do have a wider choice of estate cars again at the moment.
We do. I mean, the Germans never took them away from us, as we discussed before.
No,
I mean,
they didn't.
We've had plenty of. I mean, you see plenty of Passats about. Various Audi events of A4, 6 variants, whatever. They're about. And one of our favourites, that Mercedes CLA shooting brake, that's the see reasonable amount of those.
You do. Okay. Could it also be that some estate cars have left the market now? Ford have discontinued the Mondeo. Jaguar have discontinued the XF, including the sport brake.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be they've looked at things like that and thought, "Ooh, could be a bit of a gap here"?
That I can get on board with. Yeah,
that seems more likely, doesn't it?
Mm.
Particularly the Mondeo.
Yeah, I mean,
no more big estate car from Ford. Which, I mean, that sounds ridiculous even saying it.
It's weird,
it's true.
Isn't it? I mean, wait.
I wonder if that's it. And they've looked at it and said there might be a gap here. There's nobody making the kind of the everyman estate car, which of course Volvo have always been part of.
Yeah, I mean, because you like you say, you talk about Ford and have immediately gone, oh bloody hell, go on and let's have a look. And it's like,
it's just going to make you cross.
You look at their range and you go, it's the new electric Explorer.
Yes.
The Puma, the Cougar.
Yeah.
A Focus. There you go. There's a normal car.
Yes, they do still make the Focus for now. Yeah.
Prices from £28,500 of your pounds.
Yes.
Mustang Mach-E.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. I mean, what a sea of toss.
It is. I wonder if they've looked at that and said there's nothing there anymore. There's no everyman estate car. Volvo is a name people immediately think about when you say estate car.
Yeah.
Maybe they thought, now we've cocked up here. We still need to be there. Still need to be in that market. Let's go back.
Yeah, that's fine. You can actually. Now this is a relief. I found a car that we might want.
We might.
Well, we're well aware of the fact that you can buy a Mustang from Ford.
Yes.
However, there's the new Mustang GTD. Very limited, but you can pop your name down.
Okay.
So it's proper aeroed up, lightweight, 5.2 litre V8, 8-speed double clutch, 800 horsepower, 50-50 weight distribution, race-inspired suspension. Always dirty.
Yeah.
That the one that doesn't have a price on the website is the only one that's really of interest.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it? Yeah, I do have a bit of a soft spot for a Mustang.
Well, of course you do. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's totally.
Yeah, just do. Yeah. Yeah,
It's totally
yeah.
understandable.
Yeah.
And on their website, it's still there's one of the staples there that we didn't list in that particular range because it's under a different section, but you can still get yourself a Transit.
Oh, of course. Yeah, yeah. No, and that's important to remember. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. So between us, we'll probably have a fancy Mustang and a Transit.
Both to do very different jobs.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you've got a Transit, you don't need an estate car, then, do you?
No, that's it. No, you're ticking off a job there, and it could be a family
car. Can be silly, yes.
And the Transit could be a family vehicle for you because it's 3 up front.
Oh, there we go then. Yeah, yeah,
you're never going to be without a friend if you own a van.
That's very true. Yeah, that's true. You're always going to be off somewhere over a weekend.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
all the McDonald's you can eat.
I mean, while it's quite nice that the Volvo estates are coming back,
it is.
That's great and all. I still am massively critical of the modern Volvo estates because they're not very comfortable.
As a bit of a Volvo fan and former Volvo owner, yes, you have from the very beginning been very critical of the more modern ones. Yeah, they've lost a lot of the detail that you like the comfy seats, for example.
They're not comfortable to sit in. The performance is very odd. I think that's mostly gearbox related.
Okay.
The ride is harsher than you want, considering the one that I had quite a lot of exposure to was very sort of middle of the range, nothing fancy about it, but it's some of the crashiest suspension I've experienced. Like, what on earth is this about? This is a spine shatterer. This is not good.
Yeah.
While the footprint of the car was enormous, you felt overly enclosed. The load space was all right, but not as good as the size of the car out. And it's just weird. And the price of them, it's like mad. I mean, I was reading an article and the plug-in hybrid V90, so the big one with the most sort of eco setup. The price of that before they pulled them, because obviously there's no price has been released yet for when they come back. Before they pulled them, that car, without speccing it up, was over 60 grand.
Yeah, that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's a lot.
You go and buy that, whether you spec it up or not, that price is going to depreciate like a stone.
See, that's not filling the gap left by the Mondeo. Not at that price.
No, and I know Mondeos before they left us were not as cheap as we think they would be, but they're not 60 odd grand.
No, they're not. They never were. No.
And I get that. Look, some BMWs, some Audis, you go, yep, your estates are nice, and I'm paying for that bit of premium. They're a really, really nice place to sit as well.
Yes, particularly in Audis, the interior is superb.
They have got it down to a T, and everything you touch feels premium.
Yeah.
And you can go, right, yeah, this was a lot of money, but I kind of see where the money's going. When you
feel when you sit in it that like you say, this is a quality product. Yeah.
And if you sit in that V90 and you touch and feel things, you go, yes, right.
Cars are tactile, aren't they? And
in the same way that you sit in a Tesla interior and go, yes, right. but it's not pre.
Yeah, no, it's not. No, it's not.
It's the same.
They're better now than they were, but yeah, it's not. Yeah,
it's the same problem as a Volvo, and I hope to God that they have fixed or improved, because fixed is harsh, because the infotainment wasn't broken, it was just shit.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, does it say these aren't new models, are they? They're just the old models reintroduced to the market.
I think so.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah. Well, you've moved on, haven't you? Really? You're probably not going to go back to Volvo at this point.
Not a new one. No.
Not if you if you found yourself in need of a cheap estate car, you'd know where to go. But you're not buying a new one.
No, they can jog on at that. That's just I'm fine.
It's too much, isn't it? And they're not, from what I've read, and if you look at the sort of reliability figures, they're not as reliable as they used to be. That Volvo at one time was a byword for reliability, dependability. They're no more so now than a lot of other brands. They're no more reliable than a BMW or an Audi. If you look at the sort of Euro NCAP satisfaction figures and things, they're nothing special.
No, not at all. And you think like you say, it doesn't have that quality feel anymore. It doesn't have that. Again, I'm buying this reliability. I'm buying the
solidity and safety of it. There's any number of other brands that can deliver it just as well. To use that horrible corporate phrase, it's the USP, isn't it? It's what is the essence of a Volvo.
Yeah.
That's kind of gone now. It's not what it used to be, which is a shame. But same can be said of a number of other manufacturers, including the aforementioned Ford. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, they aren't singling Volvo out for that.
No,
loads of people have fallen by the wayside. And another massive drawback of that is it's going to that luxurious moment that we're going to have again. Well, actually, they're not selling them in this country anymore. We can really spot the unmarked police cars.
We did talk about that.
Yeah.
Yes, because we wondered whether they would still supply them to law enforcement, and therefore that would be a way
and
getting your hands on them through the second-hand market.
They confirmed that they would be doing that.
Yes. But now they're going to give them to everybody anyway. So
one thing that is absent from any of the news that I've read actually is saloons. Because when the news was originally announced, it was estates and saloons to be pulled from the UK, but it seems that in terms of reinstating them, it is estate only.
I'm okay with that.
I don't mind that at all, but it's just...
I never really saw the point of a Volvo saloon, to be honest. If you want a saloon, there was any number of other things that would do it better.
That's the Germans.
Yes, whereas the estate... you could sort of see the point of, although less so these days. So no, I'm all right with that. If they just bring back the estates,
I'm fine with it too. I just thought it was noteworthy.
Yes, it's worth mentioning certainly that it may only be the estates coming back, which perhaps bears out the theory that they're looking at the likes of Ford and saying, oh well, they don't have anything in this sector anymore, so perhaps we should segment.
No.
We should be there. I hope it's something logical and sensible like that.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Isn't.
No, well, a pinch of salt, I think, with that. Hope.
Shall we end on something silly?
Sit the egg on it.
You remember the Cannonball Run?
I do.
It's a very silly movie.
Well, and that's good.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's it's all there, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to talk about Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Because we know We know about that.
We did. We discussed that. Well, if you're going to talk about Cannonball Run, it's not Aston Martin, but still car related. I'm going to assume Lamborghini.
Correct.
Excellent.
Correct. Yeah, specifically the black Countach that was in that movie.
With the extra wings.
With extra wings, yes, one on the front as well, because that's really going to help. This is very silly, but to celebrate the 45th anniversary of the Countach LP400S that was in that movie, they've reunited the two actresses who were in it in the film, and done like a whole thing, done like a whole event with them.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, well, yes, a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit contrived, but nevertheless.
Oh, I don't mind that.
They've got the two actresses that were in it in the movie, got them back with the one that was used, and they did a photo shoot and an interview, and there was a bit of a drive about with the car, and
that's not
because the car a few years ago, the car was added to the American National Historic Vehicle Register as being of historic significance.
Oh, nice.
Which, of course, Lamborghini were very happy about. But it wasn't because it was in the Cannonball Run. It was because of the car itself. This is specifically because it was in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And, there you go. It's a bit silly, but
nice.
It's nice. It's movie related, and it's a big black Lambo with spoilers in the wrong places.
Oh, don't forget the aerials.
Oh, and the aerials, and the extra lights.
Yeah.
They proper ruined that. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a film that we like, so.
It is a ridiculous film that we do quite like. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's much better to end on rather than being cynical about why Volvos are coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a silly car in a silly movie. That's more like it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, well, there you go. Well, why don't everyone go and watch that at the weekend?
Yeah, go and watch a bit of the Cannonball Run, and then if you're curious about the Aston Martin DB5 that's in there, we've got a whole episode on it.
Oh yeah. We'll furnish you with a link, but it's
because we did that to death.
We did. And do you want a bit of movie trivia as well? So if we're going to Cannonball Run,
please do.
It was the second time that Jackie Chan appeared in a Hollywood role.
Oh, very good.
There you go. That's nonsense you didn't need, but
that's
there you go.
Kind of useless trivia that we pride ourselves on this podcast.
Useless trivia until that question in the pub quiz.
Well, then you're sorted, aren't you?
Well, I think that's probably enough of that for this week. Check us out on all the various social medias and things. Thank you very much for listening.